Well, I tell you what, I don't think I've ever woken up here to a more perfect morning. And I'm keeping fingers crossed that that's a sign that the weather will be a little bit more stable today. Yesterday we went from scorching heat to some serious thunderstorms and a little bit of a flash flood. And we kind of had to halt most hunting for the rest of the day. But today it's looking quite promising. So we're going to make the most of it. We're not going to do much breakfast eating or coffee drinking or anything this morning. Maybe a little bit of coffee. But we'll head out pretty quickly and get a full morning in. And I mean, the hunting's been really, really tough with it being so green. Just haven't seen a lot of animals. Yesterday looked the whole day for monkeys, didn't get a single opportunity. So I think putting the hard yards in and putting the time in is the only way we're gonna really give ourselves some good chances here. But as always, being out here, that's really where the fun lies, and always a blessing to be here.
This was one of those mesmerizing mornings when you're kind of torn between relaxing in the sun and listening to the birds and actually hunting. But we eventually motivate ourselves to get moving and begin our preparation for the day ahead.
For dinner tonight, we will be having, I think it's lamb chops. And we've got some ice creams and frozen yogurts for the road if it gets really hot today. But lamb chops are going to come out of the freezer and going to put them in the fridge just so they can start defrosting for tonight. Really looking forward to a really nice dinner tonight. Not exactly sure where we're going to end up, but we're going to be leaving this camp this afternoon, packing everything up and heading into the mountains just for a change of scenery. It's such a beautiful property that we don't really want to be confined to just one spot. We want to move around and get to explore some more wild areas. So we'll be packing everything up and heading up into the mountains, and I can't wait to experience sunset from up there. Let's go.
As always, if there was one species we'd put at the top of our priority day after day, it would be the vervet monkey. But we really struggled over the last few days to find them in the thick vegetation. And once again, we start off on a disappointing note as we spot monkeys about 50 yards away, but have to watch them vanish into the long grass. So we revert to plan B and head to a ground squirrel hotspot, and sure enough, we see action straight away.
Dead. Perfect shot. 1.5 mils, so probably just under 100 meters. And I just saw a hole up here right in his heart and lung area, so he would have been down within 1 or 2 seconds. But let's wait, because I think we probably will find some more here.
I decided to take a walk along an elevated dam wall, which would give me a good vantage point over some of the ground squirrel holes we'd seen peppered around this area. And it seems that yesterday's rain has brought everything out of hiding, as I start to see some small faces peeking out from out of their holes. These are yellow mongoose, or mongooses. Either way, very different from ground squirrels. Ground squirrels are rodents, which means that they are herbivores, mostly, when they aren't cannibalizing each other. Mongooses, on the other hand, are carnivores. They are pests in some areas where they can eat birds and bird eggs and spread diseases like rabies, but out here they can be left well alone, and it's really the squirrels that we're after. Mongooses often share holes with ground squirrels, so we know that the presence of one can indicate the presence of the other, and soon enough we do spot what we're after.
Perfect. Well guys, that was quite a sequence there. We got the one squirrel from the top by the road, a relatively long shot, just under 100 meters. And we decided we'd drive down here and park off on the dam wall. And it turns out that these squirrels, maybe they just wanted some rain, but this morning they're a lot more active than they were yesterday. And they're out and about and managed to get two in quick succession. So super happy about that. I think we can safely put this gun away now. Hopefully the scope cam footage came out good, but as you can see, it's an awesome setup, and the scope works really well with the scope cam as well, and just super clear. Definitely worthy of the flagship title in the Element Optics range. But let's go look at those squirrels, shall we? Here's the first one. Hit him right there in the head. Destroyed his head by the looks of things. And second one's right here. So looks like it's also a headshot. Can't remember if I actually aimed for the head or not, but two perfect headshots. Got to be happy with that. And yeah, I'm pretty keen to look at that footage. But I think we're going to switch back to the green machine now. It's just a little bit shorter, smaller, more compact, and I'm not really sacrificing much drop by going back to the 34 grain slugs instead of the 40s. So green machine, 34 grain javelins, and let's keep moving, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get a monkey or two. But this is a great start to the day for sure. So this is actually where we saw those fallow deer last night, was in this area. There's a bit of a dam here, so there's a water source for them, and it's just a very fertile area. So I'm guessing they just came down from the mountains and came. Ooh, flip! There's two squirrels right there. I better go get my gun.
And just like that, we're back in business. With so many holes down here and a large carrying capacity for the ground squirrels with all the green vegetation, it's only a matter of time until we can bag another one. But the one I'd seen has disappeared for the time being, so I head back up to collect the very first one I'd shot.
Well, if you ever wondered whether heart and lung shots can be effective, I took a heart and lung shot here because we were pretty far and I wasn't sure if there was a bit of left to right. So heart and lung would have given me a bit more leeway left and right. But heart and lung shot on a squirrel, squirrels are pretty tough, and oftentimes if you just give them 1 or 2 seconds to crawl down their holes, you can't recover them. This one, the moment that slug hit, I knew that I'd hit him properly, and that's actually, I think that's his lung sticking out the side. I might have to blur that because it's a bit graphic, and we don't want to put stuff that's too graphic on YouTube, but I'd call that probably the best heart and lung shot on a little critter I've ever taken. That's what you call DRT, dead right there, right where he stood, straight down, and that's a win for the 40 grain javelins. There's two squirrels just behind this bush here. They know I'm around, so they're a bit skittish, but I think I'm going to just sit and wait for them and see if they come out.
Once again, those sneaky squirrels are taunting me, and I don't really want to leave knowing that they're somewhere down their holes laughing about how they've outsmarted me. Tired of lugging the big impact around, I go back to fetch the green machine, and when I come back, I get my chance. He moves as I take my first shot, and when I take the second, which should have been perfect, I realize that I'd forgotten to dial back from an earlier shot. Oh, I'm dialed all the way up. Thankfully, he sits again, and I can make amends for my stupidity.
Well, this squirrel really should not have been shot, but obviously she or he was, looks like a she, was a little bit dumb. I had the squirrel lined up through the twigs, and I thought I had a perfect shot, miss. I thought, okay, maybe I hit a twig in front of it, but then I had a clear shot, took a shot and still missed. And then I realized my turrets were dialed to 8 mil, so almost a full revolution on the turrets. And obviously I just left it like that from an earlier long shot at a monkey or something. And when I finally figured that out, I thought, this thing's definitely gone. There's no ways it's going to give me another opportunity. And then it came running straight towards me. So I was able to put a shot in right here in the head, and yeah, straight down on the spot. So the green machine strikes again. It's nice to get a bunch of squirrels with 2 different guns today. Maybe we'll get a couple more today, but man, with this heat, I don't think many animals are going to be out and about.
As if I'd laid out a challenge, 2 more squirrels show up as we're about to move on, and I take my opportunities with the 40 grain slugs once again. If there's one thing ground squirrels don't mind, it's heat. And 2 shots to the head gets the job done. We are going to the complete opposite side of the farm right now. We're going to stop off at the lands where we tried to get some ground squirrels yesterday. We know that there are a few there. We're just struggling so much with the monkeys that we thought, let's not try and focus on the monkeys, let's turn our focus to the ground squirrels. And hey, if an opportunistic monkey comes across, we'll take that chance. But yeah, the monkeys are just proving to be too smart in these conditions. They'll just get away from us way too easily. So fingers crossed that we can get a ground squirrel. We've got a good amount already, but 1 or 2 more will just be I think the cherry on top. In the heat of February, the one place you'll find animals is along the river, and we'd noticed plenty of animal spoor in the mud after yesterday's rain. Monkeys also frequent the Green River valleys, and the farm had actually put monkey traps down here to try and catch a few. The monkeys are so smart though, and after a while these traps become pretty ineffective. And that's what the air guns are for. I spot a couple monkeys against a hillside and try to get a shot off. They're just way too smart.
I mean, they got into the long grass and just lay flat and ran all the way up the long grass. You just can't see them. These conditions are so tough. It's really a challenge. It's like night and day shooting in dry conditions versus green conditions. In dry conditions, this cliff face would be completely exposed. There'd be nowhere for them to hide. You'd be able to see them clearly, and you could take out the 22-50 and shoot them on the way up. But in these conditions, any monkey we get will be a huge achievement. That's how difficult it is. I guess we have to move on.
I realized that there was still a monkey or 2 hiding in the long grass within range, and I braced myself against the back of the truck to try to get a shot. I really thought I'd missed this one. I had to guess a holdover and take the shot really quickly, but the slow-mo reveals that I did actually manage to get him in the head. My 1 mil of holdover was perfect, and down he goes. Just down the road, I get a chance on a monkey that probably thought I didn't see him in this acacia tree, and I have to thread the slug through the branches here, but I managed to take a really solid headshot. We head to a couple more spots to try and find more monkeys, but really struggle to find anything. In this heat, they're probably deep in the bushes trying to cool off, but we do get one opportunity with a Dussie standing in the shade of a cliff face. This is an interesting one because normally my strategy with steep shots at Dussies is to hold just above the nose, knowing that if the shot travels either high or low, it should drop it on the spot and pass right through either the brain or the spine. In this case though, it hits exactly where I aim, and he doesn't go down straight away. I'm pretty confident that with 85 foot-pounds to the head he'll be done within a couple seconds, but it is possible that the jawbone actually deflected the slug off course a little bit.
We've struggled in our normal spots, so we're gonna take a bit of a detour up this mountain over here. There's a road that basically winds, you can just see it there, up the mountain, sort of like a contour path all the way up, and we're hoping that there might be some rock structures where we can set up and maybe find some Dussies. It's not very likely that we'll find stuff, but it's worth a try.
This is a road that we'd never actually driven before, and judging by the condition of the road, I don't think anyone else has driven here in months either. The road was pretty rough, but the views made it all worth it and gave us a perspective of the valleys below that we hadn't seen before. Up at the top we did find some really promising looking rock faces that should in theory be perfect for dussies, but no matter how long we waited and glassed, nothing showed up. We did see a golden wildebeest though, and a white blessbuck. These colour variations can increase the value of certain species quite significantly, which is why these animals are kept safe in separate areas of the farm. But that's enough exploring for one day. We are famished and it's time to head down to a cooler spot and make some lunch.
Well, it's a very hot day today, typical February heat, and there's nothing happening in terms of hunting in the middle of the day. I think all the animals are hunkered down in the shade. So we're going to take a very slow, leisurely lunch and just really enjoy being out here. We've parked off in the coolest possible place we can think of, and that is in the actual riverbed. And we can basically sit here in our camping chairs, dip our feet in the water, go for a swim, and we have some, well, they're actually honey and mustard chicken sausages. We've just taken them off the stick and we've added a bit more honey and mustard marinade and just shaken them around a bit, and we're going to cook them up and put them into some wraps, so that should be quite nice. And I think we have some ice cream as well, which I think now is the right time to crack that open. So I might actually start with an ice cream starter and then we'll have the main course after that.
Oh, now we're talking.
No, come on. Give me a break. I just want to eat ice cream. Oof, this looks good.
While the food's cooking, I have my eyes peeled looking around for monkeys, and I do get my heart rate up for a while as I spot a troop moving through the grass.
Well, how's that for a stroke of luck? We're busy making lunch and the monkeys just appear out of nowhere. But as it's been for the whole day, or the last few days, they just vanish into thin air, just lying down in the grass or sitting in a tree, and now we can't spot them, but they're somewhere there. And if I can see one, the 22-50 will definitely be able to do the job.
I have to accept defeat again as the monkeys take another victory, and with lunch gulped down, it's time to move on and prepare for our journey back up the mountain to find camp.
Well, it's nearing 5 p.m. and after a really hot day and a really difficult hunting day, we are back at the camp and we are packing things up. You might wonder, why are we packing things up? Are we heading home? No, we're not. We are actually heading up into the mountains to camp tonight. As great as this camp is, and as it has got everything we need and we absolutely love it here, we also want to just kind of experience the raw nature of a beautiful property like this. And that means really getting away from anything built up and parking off somewhere with incredible sunset views and just making a nice fire and enjoying it like we did the previous time we came here. So it's kind of a bittersweet feeling, but in about 20 minutes time we'll be on our way up the mountain and getting ready for some insane views this evening. We're seeing a lot of animals here, kudu, mountain reedbuck, pretty much everything. Just a reminder, you can actually come in and hunt here. I'll put the link down below in the video description. There's a website for the accommodation for the Oxwagon camp for those who just want to come stay here, and then there's a separate link for those who want to book a hunt here. Now obviously the hunts are sort of international prices, so for local South Africans it might seem a bit expensive. But if you're coming from, let's say, the US and you want to come and stay in the Oxwagons and actually hunt, you can hunt. They've got all the big game animals: kudu, mountain reedbuck, springbuck, wildebeest, impala, pretty much everything. But then you can also do air rifle hunts for small game, which is kind of unique to this place. Like, not many people offer that, so that's pretty cool. But check it down below.
With around an hour of sunlight left, we pull into a very familiar place. a remote cliff top overlooking a beautiful valley. We'd camped here in the previous season of the Oxwagon Diaries and really wanted to experience the magic once again.
Well, we're back at a very familiar spot. We actually parked exactly next to the spot we made our fire last time. It's a prime spot here. We've got views of some of the sort of agricultural lands down there where we've shot a lot of monkeys in the past, and then we've got this really wild area here where no one ever comes, and I'm expecting to see a lot of game probably early tomorrow morning and even this evening moving in and out of this valley. So awesome spot. The sun will be setting that side unfortunately behind us, but it will be rising right over there, so we're gonna have to get up nice and early tomorrow. But let's set up camp and let's get ready to make a fire tonight, and maybe a nice cup of coffee soon would also be great.
I'm going to let my words be few for the rest of this video, as I believe the images and sounds captured here tell the story far better than I ever could. If you do enjoy these scenes, remember that I do have a second channel where you can watch Nicole and myself travel around mind-blowing wild places in this awesome vehicle. I'll leave a link down below if you'd like to subscribe.